G'day everyone, T-Nick back here again in Transport Fever, and you haven't hit the play button, so let's just get on with that there. Fantastic intro there. So you'll remember in 1901 we turned our first profit, which has just dropped off the screen there, but it was 20 grand. Well, we've just earned another profit year. English good, I speak well. Yes, fantastic. What I meant to say was we have just had another profitable year because I just let the game run. And yeah, last year we made 420 grand profit, to the point that I actually had a bit of cash sitting around and I paid the loan down by 500 grand, which is why our loan interest this year is 5 grand cheaper. And as you will know from every other game of Transport Fever you've seen me play, you know, loan interest is dead money. So unless you need the loan or you can't pay it off, you may as well keep it as low as possible. So I've also got the line window open so you can see how our passenger train compares to our freight train. Poorly. However, it is starting to move a number of passengers. So on this trip here, we're almost half full. In fact, I think we're a little over half full. No, we're just under half full. 27 times 2 is 54. So just under half full. But that's not too bad because the number of passengers with each trip has been steadily increasing. So the first trip transported 1, second trip it was about 5 or 6, third trip it was about 12. So if that keeps going the way it is and the towns keep expanding to meet this passenger service, I think we're doing okay. One problem I have found with it though, which is obviously affecting its profitability and affecting this train's profitability somewhat, is that the trains are catching up to each other. Specifically, with the timing of both lines, this chap here will leave the passenger station just behind the cattle train most of the time, well, pretty much every time I've seen it, but being a faster train, it obviously doesn't happen every time, which means he has to follow the cattle train all the way to the other end of the line. Then he ducks up to the station, does his stationy business, and then he gets a real clear run back down here to the station. But as you can see, the cattle train is now leaving again, so he's going to follow him back, which makes for a very slow trip. Now we can mitigate that slightly by double tracking the line. Obviously being a faster train, he's still going to catch him and follow him, but he'll spend less time sitting at a signal and then running at 90 k's an hour, and more time running at sort of 50 or 60 and then slowing down at each signal on the way. So it should save him a tiny bit of time, because he's not having to make the mad dash from this signal here right over to the station here before the cattle train turns around and comes back. Because I don't think it's possible. I don't think there's enough time for the cattle train to block him at this junction here. Not this junction here, sorry, the junction here where they split off, because obviously they've got to switch sides. But I think it's possible, and it's something I'd like to mitigate. So there you go. You can see he's following the cattle train back out again, which is not great. And yes, by double tracking, admittedly, we lose the romance of this cute little single track tunnel here that I'm currently obsessed with. If you look at the thumbnails for the videos, I'm obsessed. I mean, look, it just looks so cool. I mean, this bit here, not so much, but the little tunnel under the road and the snaking along through the forest. And no, you're getting excited. Don't get excited. But yes, a side effect of double tracking means that I am going to introduce something I should have done last episode, and instead I built Larry the Loss-Making Passenger Train, which is to say the grain train up here and then the stone back again, which we can do with one train. And then noticing that these trucks here are now keeping up with the demand for cattle because we haven't expanded the train anymore. So there's plenty of cattle waiting here. So the farm says, not going to send any more cattle out. It means we don't actually have to set up a second truck route because, you know, obviously if we had the grain train working, there'd be grain waiting here for him to pick up. But currently he's just going to come in and leave empty because there's no cattle waiting, because between the cattle at the station and that on the train, the farm thinks there's enough cattle in play. But that's enough waffling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend the loan out just a smidge because it's only March, and I'm going to get to work double tracking this line, which will make everyone's life a little bit easier. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to do. You know, when I clicked on this buffer stop and said I want to double track the line, what I actually meant was go perpendicular, put a stupid level crossing in, lower the landscape, and just, I don't know. I don't even know. So yeah, maybe that's what I wanted. It's not as good, but I'll stick with it. So this should be a fairly straight shot. It shouldn't be too expensive, he says, just spending 50 grand on a bit of track, because the landscaping should be minimal. That said, it's probably costing about the same as when we put the first track down. Now here, we want to put the second track through on that side. So we probably are going to have to use the bulldozer and the pause button a bit here. So we're going to have to thread this track onto the existing tunnel and then put a second track in on this side, which actually doesn't line up very well over here because obviously the second track's on this side. So we're going to have to go ahead and sort it out at both ends. So how expensive is that going to be? It's only 23 grand, but that's a lot of landscaping. What's the other side look like? More. Okay, cool. So we'll stick to this side here, even if it is a bit more expensive. At least we've kept a line of trees down at the water there. That's not too bad. Oh gosh, that's expensive. Okay. So how far along do we want to go? Oh geez, probably about there. And then we'll hit the pause button and we'll link this up to the existing tunnel. Hopefully put a second tunnel in. We might actually do that first just to price it out. Yeah, 38 grand. That's not too bad. Still retains the romantic attractiveness of the original one, just with a second track. Okay, so now we can hit the pause button just so we don't upset anyone, and back off this bit of track here and connect it up properly. So like that. 24 grand, we can live with that. And that is 16 grand. That's fantastic. And then likewise, we'll need to do a bit of damage here to line this up as well. So I'll bring you up there, and then you can come around like that. Nice sweeping bend. Yeah, 115, 120 is not too bad. 114. Yep, that's okay. And that's gone ahead and double tracked it, and it only set us back 500 grand. Oh well. Spend money, make money, blah, 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 blah. Put a signal in at the crossing there. Oh dear, we've upset you, haven't we? Okay, well, if you could just turn around, and we'll get you to turn around again, because you should default to the correct track now. So once you get clear of that signal, spin around. We'll get rid of this set of points here. We can't afford that, so extend the loan a smidge. He's not using those points, good. And we'll ditch this signal here because, well, it's now superfluous. So that's fine. We've got a nice big gap between signals there. We'll go ahead and whack a couple down at the tunnel here just as a nice landmark for where we've put signals. So like that. That way, even if he is following a train, he's still got plenty of room to get up to that 90k speed. And then, of course, that brings him down here to the junction, which is not so much a junction anymore because it's more double track. So we'll go ahead and get rid of those points there. I might actually take this opportunity to straighten this out a bit more. No, that's a signal. Can we do anything about that? Yeah, 100 to 120, so he won't have to slow down as much coming into that curve there. Or at all, really, because he's top speed at 90. And then we can't really do much at this end, I don't think. I'm going to try just to keep that speed up there as much as possible. How are you doing? You're pretty much the same. Okay, what if we back it off a little bit more and bring it around like that? 120, that's exactly what we want to see. That's fantastic. So that's just sped everything up a smidge there. So where have we got signals? We've got one here. We'll drop one in there. And then, of course, we've got the junction itself up here, which we will leave in situ. Now, trying to keep costs low because some idiot spent a lot of money on a passenger train that's yet to turn a profit. I'm thinking what we do is we extend our existing trucking route and obviously add more trucks up here to the stone quarry. So basically what he's going to now be doing is running stone from here down to the food processing plant to be put on the train, picking up the food, running it into town, and then repeating that triangle there. So that way we should minimize costs because I really do not envy the idea of trying to extend this line across this this river junction here. We'll need to remove this bridge. It's something we're going to do eventually, obviously, he says now, committing to something a long way in the future. But yeah, for now, I think we're going to have to make do with trucks because I think it's also quite a bit of a climb up here. Not really. I mean, it's not that far down. I do like this bumpy landscape here. That's kind of cool. But yeah, that's the low-cost way of doing it. And then obviously we'll need to put the grain/stone train on, and we'll need to set up a truck stop up here as well. Now, one thing we're going to have trouble with, because we're going to have the grain trucks bringing the grain down here, and then picking the stone up and taking it up here, but we don't have anything to bring the construction materials into town. So what I'm wondering is if it's worth just curtailing the deliveries run, so just delivering the cattle and the grain down here and running back again, obviously via here with the stone, and then sort of using a separate route to take the construction materials down into town, and picking up sort of, I don't know, food here maybe, and then taking to town. No, then you're sort of double dipping. Maybe we leave the existing routes as it is and just introduce one from the brickworks into town. Or even just from the brickworks back here. We just have the grain truck go up here with the stone, bring the bricks back here, bring the bricks back here. God, try saying that 10 times fast. And then repeating. That's probably the best way to do it, because it's only just a short hop from the brickworks down here. So, yeah, that way we don't have to set up a separate route just for that. So we'll need a truck stop. Ooh, that's expensive. That's significantly less expensive. I can live with that. That's getting more expensive. 20 grand, that'll do. Or 20.8, close enough. Ooh, we can pay the loan down a bit, which is fine because we'll just extend it again. But, you know, it's always nice to be able to do that. So we're going to go ahead and set up a new route. So we'll go ahead and bring all the lines back up again. So this one will be grain from the farming co-op down to the freight yard. Good, okay. And then he's going to pick stone up at the freight terminal and take it up to the brickworks. Excellent. Then he's going to bring the bricks back down to the freight terminal, and then they can get loaded on with any food, because I'm thinking we don't always have food here at the moment, so we can just double up with the cattle truck to take food and bricks into town for now. We might have to revisit that later if we're if we're seeing a stockpile of food here. We might end up running a route from here to here, back up to here, back into here, as I said initially, but for now that'd just be too much dead running. But yeah, so hopefully, so what's that? Grain down here, stone up here, bricks back here, and then run empty back up to the farming co-op. And we'll call that grain/stone, although I know realistically it will also be carrying cattle, and the cattle route will also be carrying grain. Why don't we call it just farm/stone? Eventually, if we use a hopper truck here, we'll limit it to grain and stone, but of course that will remove the bricks from the chain too, which is not ideal, and that's Rothenfels. Cool. So that's farm/stone, and we might rename this one to farm/food, just to dot all the T's and cross all the I's, as they say. That's not what they say. Never mind, it's fine. And then obviously this end here will be the more expensive end, because we're going to be dragging our trucks a long way up here, and we're going to need a heck of a lot of them to make that work. Oh, we can get a nice cheap truck stop though. Under 15 grand, shut up and take my money. And then of course we're going to need to take this one, Delivery Ochsenhausen. We're going to have to rename you, once autosave's finished, to, what are you? You're going to be Stone Food. Good, okay, so we'll stick with that. So you start at east, you go down to the delivery point, and then we want you to head up here. Yes, that's really going to blow out that truck route significantly, isn't it? Yes, fantastic. And of course, we're going to have to go ahead and buy a few more trucks for that, which we may as well do now. We'll go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for now. Which is overkill because we don't have the stone train, but I'd rather have both ends set up initially, just so we can get that train pumping the stone out immediately. So we'll go ahead and how many trucks do we have on this one? Vehicles, we have 1, 2, 3, 14. Okay, cool. Wait, no, hang on, because we built 2 up there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, cool. So I'll probably need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, we've run out of money. That's going well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at this end, and you guys are going on the farm and stone route. Again, you're just going to hemorrhage money until we can get you a train, but that's okay because we're going to set the train up now. Oh, that's an attractive grey colour, isn't it? Perfect for stone. So you're going from Rothenfels freight sidings, and you're coming up here. What we could do is we could just add a second train to the existing route, without having a separate line, but then they'd be sharing a platform, which, you know, it's not ideal if they end up waiting to access the platform, whereas here we've got 2 platforms. And when we do extend this line, we're going to need a separate route anyway, so there's no real point in sort of doubling up there. But this will be, actually we'll call it grain/stone, and that is capitals, Roth to Ochs. Excellent. Fantastic. I think that matches the one we've already got. Yes, excellent. Loving our work there. That's fantastic. I know we've got a lot of cattle waiting here, but I won't be putting a second cattle train on just yet until we can ensure we're transporting grain out of here. Because if we up the cattle moved here, more cattle will pop up at the farm, and that'll reduce the likelihood of transporting grain. So now let's talk trains. I'm pretty sure we're going the Prussian G3 again. Again, we've got some great candidates down here, but you know, the Prussian, it's cheap and cheerful, and it's getting the job done. It might only be getting the job done at 50 k's an hour, but it's getting the job done. So we'll max out the loan, well, not max out, but we'll stretch it out to 15 grand and see what that'll buy us. So we probably want about 14 open wagons to match the cattle train. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and look at that, we've got 2 million in change left over. So we'll pay that back immediately so we don't forget, and we will send you on your way. You are the grain and stone line, please. So with this train now in motion, hopefully the farm will get the picture that we're transporting grain down here, and that grain can turn into more food, which will be loaded onto the cattle and food train to come back again, which will hopefully improve things there. We forgot to watch it come out of the depot. Quick. There we go. We saved it. It's fine. We're still going to see it. No one's missing anything. And chuff on, my friend. Chuff on. Because you're going to be superseded eventually by, you know, better rolling stock. And we just slammed the doors on the last wagon. They never learn. So that's fine. So you're going to have to run empty a couple of times to sort of get into the motions. But, you know, that's okay. That's okay. I have faith in you. I believe that you will eventually turn a profit. We probably should go ahead and... Oh, here comes the cattle train now. I was thinking we should probably double track this section here as well, just to, you know, enable these two trains to pass. So we might as well go ahead and do that. Well, there's a bit of landscaping to be done there. That's not great. Can we glue you in here? Too much curvature. Oh, no, there it is. Yeah, it will glue in. That's good. Excellent. I don't know if glue's what you use to build trains. I've never tried, but okay. Are you going to snap? You're going to snap? You're going to be difficult. You'll snap in there as well. Oh, that's a nice looking junction, isn't it? Functional. That's good. So now we need another set of points in here. Will it do the thing? It will. Is it going to be janky? It doesn't look janky. The wagons all seem to be on the level. Yeah, I think we got away with that. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I know you're whistling with glee. So we'll go ahead and we made your wagons disappear again. Sorry about that. Oh, here comes the passenger train. Hopefully this time he won't have to follow the cattle train, because we've delayed the cattle train with the grain train, which goes at the same speed, and he'll just follow the grain train. Well, the main thing is we tried. You know, it's the thought that counts, as they say. So you're going to chuff on. You're coming to the platform now. How are you doing for passengers? 36 of 56. See, that's over half full. That's doing well. And he might actually turn a profit this year. You know, I mean, if he can make it back before the end of the year, I reckon he'll turn a profit, because he's now picking up 41 people. See, every trip getting better. Admittedly, he now has to follow the world's slowest grain train, but it's an improvement. I mean, that's the first time we've seen him in the green since we built him. I'm really happy with that, to the point that I'm now going to extend the loan out and buy a second one. Don't, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't actually do that. That'd be stupid. So now, hopefully, we'll see some grain coming down here. We do. Excellent. If only we had a single track section, I'd turn him around. But if I turn him around now, he's just going to foul up everything, because he can't actually get from this track over to where he wants to go without running into this train. So, you know, we'll just have to let him run empty for now. But, oh, here we go. Never mind. He won't be running empty on the way back if he's lucky, because it looks like our first truck is going to make it up here in time to pick up some stone. They're all coming up, so none of them are going back empty-handed. That's good. Admittedly, they're leaving a bit of food on the table down here, but they'll get to that eventually. So hopefully, by the time he's finished his first empty run up here, we'll have some stone waiting for him to take back. And by the time he gets back here, we'll have our first shipment of grain to send over, and he can just instantly start turning a profit. Well, I say instantly. He's got to do his first empty run. How are we going for buses here? Clearly, the fact that everyone needs to get off the train and get the bus into town is, well, except if you're visiting these buildings here. But that's clearly working for me from a profit point of view, because if we look at our bus routes, we'll see that the clockwise one is making a profit. Well, the anti-clockwise one isn't. Okay, so no one's going to this side of town, apparently. They're all going to this side of town. But that's fine. We will, however, chuck another couple of buses on I guess both of them, because yeah, there's people left behind on both routes there. So buy me a couple of land roarers. In fact, I think we'll just get away with this. We might not be able to afford the last one. So you're going out on CW because that's the most important one. Yeah, we're just going to be a little bit short on the second one for AC. Come on. Someone cash in and get me some money. We're up to 23 grand, and it's the start of the month, so we don't have to pay running costs for, you know, literally 22 days, 21 days, 20 days. How many days are in October? There's a number of days in October. What is it? 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31. Okay, so 31 days in October. So in 21 days, we have to pay running costs. So I just need another grand. That's it. Not even a grand. Like $800. Yes. Yes. Yes, you're going to give me $800. You're empty. Okay, you're not going to give me $800. Someone gave me $800 and the rest. So that's good. And you guys are going out on AC. Fantastic. Excellent. Love it. But as you can see, the town has started to expand onto this side of the river already, which means we've got a ready supply of buildings in our catchment area, as well as the couple that we've got over here. And wouldn't you know it, the town actually did bother to upgrade this section here, which means I can now upgrade this to medium, right? Construction not possible. You dick. So you've upgraded this to medium, but not this. This bit here, not possible. What if I bulldoze the bridge and start again? No, that's 22 grand. I don't think it's worth the risk because you'll interrupt all your buses. When we put trams on, mark my words, we're widening this bridge, even if it means smashing down every single one of these houses. Obviously, we'll need a lot more money at that point, because what's that cost? That's 150 grand, that's 200 grand to demolish that, and that's assuming we can rebuild it as medium, which we probably can't, because it'll say, construction not possible. You're having a wonderful time following the nice, slow grain train. No, how did the cattle train still get ahead of you? Mate, what are you doing? You're losing your touch. I mean, you can't argue that for scenery, though. I mean, that is gorgeous. And we've stopped at the red signal, so plenty of time for the passengers to look out the right-hand side of the train and admire the river, which hopefully doesn't flood too often, because that would pretty much wash this town away. And my station, you know. Mostly the town, but also my station, which concerns me. Now, how are we going? We got grain shipping out of here? Yes, so as you can see, the grain has decided to go on both routes, as have the cattle. As long as we've got some trucks transporting grain, I don't really mind. So, yep, autosave's going to do its thing. That's good. You've got cattle. Please let one of you have grain. You've got nothing. Well, you can just turn around, can't you? What about you? You've got cattle. What about you? You've got grain, fantastic. You've got cattle. You've got nothing, so turn around. Yes, because unfortunately, even when there is more grain than cattle there, the ones that started with cattle are going to continually transport cattle until they transport something else. And if there's cattle available, they'll just pick them up by default, which is unfortunate. So yeah, as you can see, you've loaded up with cattle again. But yeah, while we've got the grain there, hopefully we can move a lot of the grain down here, even if it means buying more trucks and just running some of them empty some of the time, because we've got more trucks than we actually need, just to ensure we are moving the grain down to this station. Long term, I probably will look to move this station up here, or just extend the line up here and run it back down again. So drop off the stone here, keep going up, pick up the grain, come back down, etc. Drop off the food here, come up here, pick up the cattle. Because, yes, as good as this freight hub idea was, yeah, it is going to make it hard trying to transship grain. But some of it has made it to the station, so that's good. Where's the grain train at now? You're the pass. You're the cattle. Okay, so it doesn't look like he's going to be bringing stone down, because the first stone truck is still crossing the bridge. But that's okay. He'll get it on the second one. Yeah, see, completely empty there. But that's fine. That's fine. Not everyone can be a winner straight out of the gate. We are fairly far in the red at the moment, which is disappointing. But, I see the town's decided to build a road there. And I can't demolish it because we're in the red. So that's annoying. Because once they start building buildings on this road, it's going to cost a lot more to demolish. Whereas right now, it's only $560. So I'm going to want you to not do that. I was going to want you to wait back at the station so that the cattle train could come through. But no, you've gone and knackered it. In fact, why don't we extend the loan a bit and run a second track down here. So we'll put a set of points in here. Like that, and then we'll just go ahead and double track down to the freight yard here. And of course I've double tracked on the wrong side. Congratulations, dingus. So we'll just hit the magic pause button there again. We'll demolish this bit here. Hopefully we don't have money for it. And we will rejoin the existing track like that, and then put in a hopefully diamond crossing here. Can we get 60 k's an hour? Can we diamond it? We can diamond it. Fantastic. We've diamonded. We've diamonded the junction suitably to let the cattle train through, because he will now get the signal, right? He's smoking up. That's good. That's good. That's good sign. Good sign. Good sign. Good smoke. Good smoke. Good work, son. Fantastic. And then we'll just whack in the obligatory signals near the bridge, just for eye candy purposes, and also to assist with the running of trains. I know, right? Whistle, whistle. Because we really need you to cash in so that we can... Actually, we don't need you to cash in now because we've borrowed money. So we'll just knock that street aside, and we'll just go ahead and lay claim to the land we're going to want to use later by putting a bit of track in here. So that way the town doesn't get any notions of expanding in this area here just yet. Can we afford a second street connection here, though? Because I wouldn't mind the town to expand on this side. In fact, before we do that, are we likely to want 3 or 4 platforms here? Let's see. We're having one line that comes around this way and goes down here, and another line that goes up the river here. You probably wouldn't hurt to put a 3rd platform in there. What's that cost me? 322 grand. Okay, never mind the second street connection or the 3rd platform or any of that nonsense. We'll just leave it the way it is for now. That's going to be fine. I just thought maybe if we have a couple of trains... Oh, a new engine is available, the KKSTB 280, which is distinct from the KKSTB different number. Let's just suss him out. What are you? I think he's Austrian, or Swiss, or Swastrian, or Swisstrian. So what are you? You are a mountain express train of the Imperial Royal Austrian State Railway. See, called it. Since the concept is based on freight engines, they are also ideal for heavy goods traffic. Well, don't you just do everything? You do cost nearly 500 grand a year run. So, don't think we'll be using you anytime soon. What are you? You're the steam engine of the Royal Austrian State Railways. You're only 322. These are all 322, aren't they? First Mountain Express train engines... with 796 examples. Wow, that's a lot. Oh, I see. They're just variations on the same theme. But that's okay. Oh, you have a snowplow. There's no snow on this map, so we won't be building that one. They're just... Yeah, I see what you mean. They're just different types of the same engine, so we can get some visual distinction there. I neglected to download any Austrian carriages, though, so I really should try and find some of them on the workshop, because... I guess they can haul these. These are German, and Germany and Austria are next to each other, and obviously their railways cross over, so I don't think anyone's going to lynch us if we do that. Oh, look at that. We've made some profit. Who did that? I'd say that was our cattle train unloading. Good work, you. And of course, we've got our first lot of stone waiting at the station now. You're bringing some food back. And of course, this grain train will help this cattle food train, because we'll be producing twice as much food here in theory, which means that the split of the food between the two towns will favourably give us more food on this train. We can even pay the loan down. I'm glad we can pay the loan down just after the start of the new year, though. So, as you can see, we've still paid the maximum amount of interest. So, you know, that's a thing that's happened. Congratulations to us. Now, how's our grain train doing? He is chuffing along nicely. Oh, dear. We still don't have very much grain for him to pick up. We have 10. How are these trucks going? Are you guys... Any of you carrying grain out, or are you all carrying cattle? You're carrying grain. That's good. That's good. How about you? You're carrying cattle. You're going the wrong way. You've got grain. Okay, so by the time he gets here, we might have a little bit more than 10 grain waiting for him. Either way, it's going to take a little while to get on his feet, but I'm confident that by the time he gets running, we will be doing all right. 32 passengers. 32 passengers. Look at that. He made a profit for the first time last year. Admittedly, it was only 14 grand, but gift horse mouth, blah, 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 blah. I'm not looking at in any mouth horses. I don't want to look at any horse's mouth, really, if you're going to be honest. Yes, so the only thing we need to connect up down here still is this lumberyard here, which will probably, again, road haul down here. In fact, we could probably set that up as a distribution line because he'll be bringing logs down here and nothing else. So worst comes to worst, we can use that to take bricks into town as well if we soften on using the grain train for that. Also, is this station within range of that? No. It probably would be in range actually if we put a second street connection on. So let's price out the third track because we will need a third track. 180 grand, okay. Yes, we will definitely need a third track eventually though, because we'll be taking the logs out of here. Do we want to put a fourth track in just to future-proof it? No, because if we put a second street connection in, the town's not going to build up here, so we'll get away with it. So we've got 168 in the bank at the moment, so we'll try and get that in, and we'll try and get a street connection on the other side. Yes, right there. Connect a road up like that, and then we won't have to truck the stone up. So, that might be a good way to finish. So it's now looking at 200 grand. And we've just paid our running costs, so we're down to 35. Let's just take a cheeky loan out and do that. Okay, good. So we've got the third track in for when we want to put the log train in, which is miles in the future, but at least then we don't have to dick around with our street connection here. Now, I'm just hoping... Oh, too much slope. What's that, 100 grand? If this works, it's worth it. We did it. Okay, good. So then we'll immediately get the stone coming from the station up to the brickworks. In fact, here comes our train now. Of course, he doesn't have any stone on him yet, so we really didn't need to rush. But that does mean we can... actually, we can't change this because you're still going to be dropping grain off, but you'll need to come up here and get the bricks. So we've achieved literally nothing by doing that, except by making our trucks run empty from here to here instead of carrying stone. Did not think that all the way through. Well, that's okay, because... Yes, it means that you'll still be bringing bricks down here because the bricks can't get from here to here. So you'll still be transporting at least one way. And then in the long term, we'll run logs down here to here, and then they can zod up empty and bring the bricks down here, I guess. Yeah, that's probably a thing we can do. Are you in range of the station? No, you're not. Okay, that's disappointing. What if we put a road in here? That's expensive. Well, it's 50 grand. But just humour me. What if we deleted that? Are you still in range of the brickworks? No, you're not. Okay. You are in range of this truck stop, though. No, you're not. Are you? No, I don't think you are. Because I was hoping... I don't know what I was hoping, actually, because what would being in range of that truck stop accomplish? Or we could drop the grain off there, which would go to the station. Or, sorry, we could drop the logs off there, which would go to the station, and then we could run the bricks into town. So yes, we'll leave that there. We'll just have to rebuild this bit of road up here as well, which is a bit convoluted because we've got roads to nowhere all over this area. But I think it'll work out in the end, because yes, you include the station because you've got the little boxes around it, so that's fine. So when we do set the log train up, we can drop the logs off there, then pick up the bricks and take them into town. And if we use the sort of a stake truck as opposed to a hopper truck, we won't be eliminating any transport there. So that's fine. That's just future proofing. And if the town does want to expand over here and put some industrial buildings around here, I won't say no. But I don't know if they will, because we won't actually be delivering bricks to this station to go to an industrial area, so the town won't spawn industrial buildings there. That didn't make any sense when I said it, so if you're not following along at home, I completely understand. 48 passengers. What is the capacity of that train anyway? 56. Okay, so that's fine. So you're still not hit capacity yet. But yeah, I reckon this passenger train is going to be a runaway success. Hopefully not a legitimate runaway, because that would be bad. But a runaway success in terms of profit is good. What's happening? I thought autosave was doing stuff, but I obviously just did not zoom in enough to register the zooming in of the thing. So I reckon that's going to do us for today. I think we've done some good. As you can see, we did turn a profit briefly, and this year we should turn a profit as well. Again, I'll just let the game run out a bit, make some profit, and then next time we will have to build some more stuff. We could hook logs up and bring them up here, but that's going to be a big job. So I reckon before we do that, we'd be better off extending the passenger line up here, so we're already making money, and then in a future part we can tackle the logs. We could extend this line up here to, remove these trucks. That's a thing we could do. Or we could extend the passenger line down here and prepare to transport steel, because if we can get steel up to the factory, We can get plastic, we can make goods, because as you can see. No, we can't actually. We definitely need planks. Okay, well, there's that idea out of the way. But either way, passengers from Stralsund, because that's a town of 250. To make the steel, we'll need to get coal and iron ore from up here, which will probably be our railway line. Could we get it down there? Ugh, that's a big hill. We might be able to tuck the railway line around through the hills there. So that's a thing we might be able to do. But yeah, these are our options. So, planks. I think next time we'll be extending the passenger line. But logs to planks to the factory is doable. But of course we need plastic as well. So that would be another chain to set up. So yeah, next time I think we're looking at expanding our passenger line. But as I said, I'll run the game for a bit, make a bit of cash, and have a bit of think about what we're going to do. But until next week, I have been T-Nick. This has been Transport Fever on the River Delta map. Once again, I would like to thank you for your company. I'd also like to question who built this house, because it's sort of hanging into the abyss. But yes, thanks for your company, and I'll see you all next week. Later days. How does that structurally sound? Like, seriously. Your fence is hovering. It's just... Have you made a deal with the devil to get this house to work? You've broken all of the laws of the space-time continuum. Also, why is there a speed hump coming up onto that bridge? Well, we can't put trams over that, can we? We still record? We're still recording. Okay, let's just cut that out before we keep talking to myself.